Hello everyone and welcome to today's webinar with SPX Flow. Discover how you can save more of your valuable product. I'm Natasha Spencer-Jolliffe and today at William Reed we are delighted to be joined by the SPX Flow team. Today SPX Flow will take us through the APV Aseptic Rapid Recovery System. The breakthrough pigging technology helps process lines become more sustainable by reducing product, chemical waste and generating greater product yields, while providing the highest level of food safety possible. In our webinar, we are joined by Pranav Shah, Global Market Director of XPS Flow. He will be guiding us through the transformative technology, which has the ability to reduce water usage and recover more valuable product. And ultimately, we will learn how it will change how you think about your pigging system. So in today's discussion, we have Pranav Shah, the Global Market Director of Dairy and Plant-Based Beverages at SPX Flow. Pranav Shah strives to achieve superior value propositions for customers and decrease the overall life cycle costs of processing lines. Now, before we get started, I just have a few housekeeping points to go over. If you have any questions for Pranav today, please type them into the Q&A box on the webinar screen and hit the submit button. We will endeavour to answer as many questions as time allows during the Q&A part of today's webinar. If we're unable to answer your question, a member of our team will follow up directly after today's webinar. If you experience any technical difficulties while watching today's webinar, please refresh your browser as this clears up most problems. If this doesn't help, however, just type your issue into the Q&A box and a member of our technical team will be on hand to help you. Finally, you should see a resources panel on your screen where you can access useful documents and links relating to our webinar today. Now, without further ado, I will hand over to our first speaker. Pranav, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Natasha. So, welcome all of you to this webinar. The topic of today's webinar is discover how you can save more of your valuable product. The webinar is being recorded, so it can be played anytime when you need in future. We request you to fill the survey after the webinar, and as usual, post lots of questions and we will be able to answer most of them. So in front of you now, you have today's agenda or index. We will go through it one by one in the stipulated time, starting with introduction and going forward. So pigging system are also known as scrapping system or product recovery systems. What it is and why it is important to you. For the team who is joining from the operations, who have huge experience in the food, dairy, pharma, cosmetic sections, they will be knowing what it is. For the people who are joining from non-operational background, can be from project department or purchase department, supply chain, marketing, for them, there can be something new here. And I will show you what we had until now in the industry and within SPX Flow and what is new about it. Pigging systems or scraping systems, they were around for many years before. But now what we are bringing to you is something novel, something new, which we have developed as our new product development as an NPD. And I will show you that today. If we see what are the benefits of the pigging system, normally, as the name suggests, what we are achieving here is that when the production is getting over and there is a product standing in the line, in a pipeline, we want to clean the pipe so that we can clean it with the CIP chemicals. By using a scraper or a pigging system, what we can do is we can push the product without direct contact of water with the product. So there is a scraper or a plug between water and the product. As you can imagine, this gives a clear cut between water and product. There is no mix of water and product. You can get higher yields which is most important, the finished product, if you can recover as much as possible, that is where it increases your top line as well as bottom line for the business, gives more uptime, more production time, more efficiency and performance in the plant, reduces the product losses, more viscous the product, better savings by using this system. It reduces the use of chemicals that you use for CIP and also CIP time, and also reduces the changeover time. So all in all, what this system can achieve for you is, if your business is looking for sustainability goals for next 5 years or 10 years to save water, increase the productivity and efficiency, reduce the chemical use, reduce the water use, then this type of system would fit in your sustainability agenda. To put it in one line, I would say that this system will give you the profits, it will give you the benefit for the people in the plant as well as surrounding, and it will be also better for the planet. So all the 3 P's will be benefited here. So now is a question for you. You can also play your part here and show some engagement in this webinar. So the question here is that, do you have pigging system in your processing plant? The 2 options are simple, yes or no. You can submit the results and I will go through the results by the end of webinar. Here we are showing a schematic of the system in a very simple way to understand, and in the following slides there is animation which will be played and it will make the things even more clear. But if you see this setup, you will see what is happening. This is the finished product tank and this is the valve manifold. From the finished product tank, the product is going to the packing line and it is getting packed here. So when the product is over and the production is over, you need to do the CIP of this line. And how we can do it in a better way that gives you all the savings that I was discussing in the previous slide will be shown in the animation coming up. Until now, within SPX flow, we had already 2 type of pigging system or scraping system, which was helping to recover the product. And those systems were called type A and type B. In front of you, what you see now is a type A system, which basically is, if you follow the green arrow, it is from point 1 to point B and back. This is how this system used to work, and it was used for all fresh products. It is sanitary system, but this system you cannot use for aseptic product, for long life, for ESL, for neutral pH and ambient products. It can be used for fresh product like fresh yogurts, milk creams, drinking yogurt, stirred yogurt. This system will give you all the benefits that we discussed, but only limitation was we cannot use it for aseptic or long life products. While we also had another system which we call as type B, and here if you follow the green arrow which is going around, it is showing that this is the system which is used in a circular motion. So take an example of a line where you are having a white mass coming in the main line, that is yogurt, plain yogurt, and then you are dosing fruit and flavor. So for this main line, you can use type A, which was shown in the previous slide. But the flavor and fragrances, you need to change over a lot within a shift, within a day. So what if there is a system that helps you to change the flavors again and again without cleaning, without CIP? So what we are doing in type B system is we are pushing a flavor behind another flavor, keeping the scraper in between. So if you are running a pineapple yogurt, for example, and if you want to change with strawberry, then you can just push another flavor, keeping the scraper in between, and continuously change the flavor as you need without stopping the plant, without stopping the packing line. Because as you also know, once the packing line stops, it takes quite a while again to come on the peak performance, to optimum performance. So this type of system actually is used mainly for flavors, fragrances, additives at the final stage just before the packing hopper. So we had all type A and type B. The design features of the pigging system that we have are in front of you. So as you can imagine, the valves, the normal valves, we cannot use that because the valves need to be such that the scraper or the pig needs to pass through. So this calls for additional design changes, and the valves should still be hygienic, leak proof, full with automation, long lasting. The inventory should be such that you don't need a whole lot of separate inventories than your existing SPX valves. So keeping all this in mind, we develop those valves which can help you with this system. The pipe starting from the finished tank until the packing hopper, there should be no diameter change in the pipe, and the bends should be a wide angle bend, so minimum 3 times the radius of the pipe so that the scraper can move in easily. And of course the quality of welds, because if we don't have smooth welds, then there can be possibility of uh, bad CIPs and hence growth of bacteria in those. So in front of you, you are what you see are the type of valves and type of bend that we use, quality of welds that we use. We had all this, but still there was something missing, and we heard this from our customers when we do our surveys. When we do our surveys, as we call voice of customers, there was something missing still. And then we thought that okay, we need to raise the standards, we need to fill the gap which our customers are facing, and hence we launched this new product this year, which is in front of you, and this is Aseptic Rapid Recovery System, Aseptic Pigging and Scraping System. The name Aseptic is giving hints to many things what the changes would be, but still there are something which I would like to tell you, going little into deeper, that what it means when we say aseptic, how we are able to achieve the system which can run aseptically and maintain the aseptic and hygienic conditions throughout the running cycle. There were challenges, there were need for upgrading everything that we were doing, the valves, the steam barriers, the way we design the purge system. We did that, um, and you will see technical specifications and the approvals in place, and we were able to launch it. So here we present to you SPX Flow APV Aseptic Rapid Recovery System. There can be many things we say about it in a qualitative way, the benefits of it, but we want to bring you the benefits in terms of quantifiable numbers, in terms of what it means to you in terms of figures. By using Aseptic Rapid Recovery System, you can recover 97 to 99% of your valuable product. Higher the viscous product, higher the tendency of losing it because of sticking losses. So this system, in fact, is very efficient if you use for highly viscous product and for high value product. It reduces the product loss from 4% to 0.5%, and it has direct impact on the bottom line of the business as well as on the planet for the environment. It uses less CIP chemicals, up to 50% saving on CIP chemicals. It is also not only profitable for the factory, but it is also better for the environment. And it reduces the water usage by 60 to 70%. So this water you can use in your process, you can use at different place in the factory. So all in all, you have all those benefits, and those benefits are mainly for the high value product like aseptic product, neutral pH product, sensitive products. It can be food products or nutraceuticals, cosmetics, for example. So wherever there is a need of very high hygiene up to the aseptic level, then you can use this kind of system. Here it will be showing how it works, and this is a small animation of 2 minutes. I will take some breaks to explain the working of it. Let us see. So you will recall this um, image from the first slides that we saw, and now this is explaining how the pigging system is functioning. The hygienic version, type A, is being shown. Green color is the product. It can be any product. And now the production is going on. The tank is getting empty, and the product is going to the packing hopper. Once the production was over, then what we do is, before the CIP cleaning in place, before the CIP starts, we need to flush the product from the pipe, and the flushing is going on now, but water is not directly in contact with the product. Water is pushing the scraper, and scraper is pushing the product. The scraper that you see here is available in different makes: EPDM, Viton, silicon, depending on the need, and there are specifications coming up in the slide. But these all uh, material that are in contact with the finished product, those are all certified for migration certificate, food safety and hygiene. Now the CIP is on, but when the CIP is being done, you also clean the scraper along with. Once the cleaning in place cycle is over, then we are pushing the scraper back to its initial position, and here we are using compressed air and not water. So the question is that why do we do this? When we are pushing with the water initially, we are more in control of the speed of the scraper, and there is no purging and splashing at the hopper because we want to do it gently. When we are pushing it back, the water is actually getting drained, so we can do it with the compressed air. And by doing with compressed air, we get the dry line. So the next production, you don't mix product with the water. So you get both the benefits. Before the CIP, you don't mix water with the product, and after CIP, vice versa. So when the scraper is going back, it sits in the original position, and you can start the next production. And this continues. So you get the benefit. As much as you run the system, you keep on getting those benefits. In the aseptic version, what we do is, as you see, we create the steam barriers at critical points where there is a possibility of contamination. So steam barriers are one of the things that we do, and then we also keep the entire line under positive pressure during the run. So what we have here at the launch of the scraper or the projectile, that is called launching station, and what we have near the hopper where the scraper goes and sits, it is called the receiving station. So all in all, this system actually is made up of a launch station and a receiving station. Okay, so coming back to our slideshow here, we have actually developed a ready to use configurator and ready to use return on investment calculator for this system. So if you need, if you have any question that my line size is of this capacity and this length in terms of meters, we will be able to give you very quick indication about how much will it be saving, what will be our return of investment, what is the range of price. So we can do it this pretty quickly. As you saw on the animation, this system in fact is very um, simple in terms of installing, because it is not a big equipment. It can fit in your existing valve manifold, or when you are designing a new plant, it will not occupy a huge layout, or it is not complex to install. Mainly it consists of three systems. One is the drain valve, which we use for draining the water, the launching station and receiving station. All the valves that you see here are coming from our own portfolio of SPX flow valves being made in our own factories. So we have full control on the quality and the spares support for entire life cycle of the valves. In the new plant, you can of course install it for your upcoming projects, but in your existing factories where you are running the products, it's also very easy to retrofit, because as we discussed, it doesn't require lots of space. It doesn't require a long um, breakdown in the existing plant. It is easy to add this setup and keep the plant running. So it is possible to do it for both greenfield and brownfield projects. We normally get lots of question about the scraper, that what is the material of scraper, is it traceable, what are the compliances, how does it look, when do we change. So here what you see, this is an example of a scraper in white color. In the animation it was black. So depending if you are choosing silicone or EPDM, it can be both. The scraper comes with a unique number, which is a traceability number. So from the inventory until the scraper is being used, you have full traceability. When it is being used, whether it is in the launching station or receiving station, you are always aware of it on the computer screen, because there are proximity switch which shows where it is present at any given point of time. If it is stuck in the line in the field, then also it is possible to locate it, because there is a small metal piece inside and there is a magnetic pen that we offer along with. So normally in a dairy or in a food company, in a cosmetic company, those lines are not enormously long as we have in other industries, for example. So it is possible to trace if it is stuck in between. Otherwise normally it takes some seconds to reach from launching station to the receiving station. It is made up of food contact compliant material and the certificates are in place. It is FDA compliant and it allows you the full traceability. What are the key applications? So anything that is of high value and sensitive product, ambient products which you need not to store in cold store but on at the shelf at the room temperature. So ambient and aseptic products, neutral pH products, creams, dessert creams, cosmetics, and nutraceutical. So whatever you have which is viscous and of high value, you can use this system. And it is also very sustainable to use the system, not to have any pros post-process contamination. Once the process is done, and if there is contamination happening at the end, then the product goes for a waste, which is not so sustainable. So this also helps you to achieve whatever processing steps you have taken before. This type of aseptic scraping and pigging system helps you to maintain that high level of hygiene till the shelf life of the product. What are the key benefits? All the benefits that we discussed for the hygienic system are still there, but here there are some more benefits because it was built as such that it gives you aseptic condition throughout the process by steam barrier, by PTFE diaphragm membrane valves, and pressurization, meaning positive pressure during the run of the entire run of the production. The scraper, the design of the scraper is also made in such a way that it cleans the product, but when it is sitting in the receiving station itself, it also gets properly and efficiently cleaned, CIP'd and SIP'd, sterilization in place. Reduces the waste, increases the productivity, gives you more uptime and efficiency. It can be easily implemented in the new projects as well as in the existing as an upgrade. Whenever this system is designed, the special care is taken about the ergonomic way of accessing the parts, so it's easy for the operator to service it and maintain it for the entire lifetime of the plant. So what are the possibilities to implement? Where all it can be implemented? On the applications that we discussed, so anything that you are currently having on those applications in your factories around the world, it can be used. It can be used for the greenfield, for the brownfield sites. It can also be used for upgrading your hygienic system to aseptic system. So you are very sure about the shelf life that you mentioned on the package of your product. Technical specifications are shown here. The pipe, normally in the dairy standard, we use standard pipes. So starting from ½ inch to 4 inch, we have this aseptic pigging and scraping system being developed for full range of pipes. It is also available in DIN sizes from 40, DIN 40 to DIN 100. So it is covering the full range that you need. All the stainless steel that we use that is getting in contact with the product, it is SS316L, electro polished for all internal surfaces for receiving and launching station both. External is glass blasted. It is compatible with existing SPX flow scraper. It is important to see that we have this compatibility between hygienic and aseptic system. It is capable of taking care of high temperatures because we need not only CIP but we also need SIP. So it is possible to do sterilization in place up to 135 degrees. It is CE marked and it is having the compliance which you can see here, the food contact material compliance. Produced at our factory at SPX Flow Bydgoszcz in Poland with the huge knowledge and experience of our hygienic, sanitary and aseptic valves. It is possible to have various options on the basic system which suits you. So from the line size, the control unit, different type of seal material, type of scrapers or pig that you can choose, and push configuration. So it is possible to choose and select. So this is quite a flexible system to design to suit as per your need and to be tailor made as per your need. Just one thing I need to make a point, that if you are fitting this system in an existing plant, then apart from launching and receiving station, there might be some need of changing the pipe bends if they are not 3 times the radius, because the scraper will need more space to move around. So that is some change you need to keep in mind, but rest of the pipeline you can use the same. There is no need to replace the full pipeline, only the bends. Now this is where it gets very, very interesting, because here until now we showed you the benefits, but there was lots of nice things, qualitative things. We showed you some percentage figures to quantify the benefits. But when it comes to calculating in terms of real dollar or real euro saving, then how does it look? So we have tried to make some calculation based on average line size for average product selling in the market, because we need this price to make the ROI calculation. In this return on investment calculation, if you see the left table, the line capacity of 3000 kg per hour is selected, and the product here is assumed to be a yogurt. The length of the line to be picked or scraped is considered as 30 meters. It can be more, it can be less. Normally 30 to 50 meters would be average line size from finished tank till the hopper of the packing line. And then we have taken an average size of diameter of the pipeline, and we have taken ID, internal diameter here. So we calculate the volume holding of the pipe, that how much volume will this type of pipe hold of the finished product. Then we have market price example of the yogurt, 2.5 euro per kg. Now what we have done is that we have calculated at only 50% of the saving. Okay, so this is still conservative way of calculating, because the saving will be more than 50% at any given time. But just to make an example, we have calculated with saving of 50% of the product. By doing this calculation and then adding number of changeovers, so in one day if we are running for 3 shifts, then we have taken 3 changeover. But normally in such a plant, these changeovers are actually more than 3 times. And then we have calculated the increased 15 minutes, because you get the product out with the scraper and the CIP cycle is reduced. So you gain at least 15 minutes in a CIP. If you are doing 1.5 hours, then you will be doing it in 1 hour and 15 minutes. What this results is A and B. So in A, we are only calculating on product loss. Obviously, if we are saving this 50% of the product, there will be lots of good product going to the packing line and being sold as a finished product. So this will help you. If you consider only calculating the product loss, then we have a return of investment of 4 months. Only 4 months you get return on investment, what you do for this type of system. But what if you also add the more production that you gain, the 15 minutes of more production, and then only take the margin on the production, not the full production, only the margin. So this margin for FMCG, fast moving consumer goods, I have calculated at 25% margin. Whatever more product you are producing and it gains you this 25% margin on what you produce more, and you add A plus B, then the return on investment is just 1 month. If I add column C and D, that is for water saving and chemical saving, lye and acid, it can be further low. So the point here is, and this calculation we can make it for any of your plant, and you can just send an email with your conditions and we can share the calculation details and Excel sheet, so you can also do it for yourself. The point here is that the system actually pays back itself pretty fast, and it's not only giving the profit, it's also saving the environment. So it has a multiple win-win situation. So here is a question that please select what is that you see as the most important benefit out of aseptic picking system? What will you like to achieve? More uptime, virtually eliminating product losses, saving water, saving energy, saving chemicals, or all of above? So please make an answer and push the submit button, and we will discuss the answers in the question answer session. So now we will open up the forum for questions and answers. We will look at the questions and we will try to reply as much as we can in the stipulated time. Whatever we cannot answer, we will come back to you by email and answer to you. So thank you for listening and giving your time for this webinar. Please don't forget to fill up our survey and come back to us for more information on either hygienic or aseptic rapid recovery system. Thank you.
Thank you, Pranav, for such informative insights there on how companies can save more of their valuable product using pigging technology. Just a reminder that if you have any questions for Pranav, please submit them in the Q&A box and we will endeavour to answer as many as time allows. But first, let's have a look at our answers from our polling questions. Pranav, over to you.
Yes, so here we have the results out, and many of the participants that we see who are participating today, they in fact do not have a picking system in their plant. So I hope that the session was useful to you to learn more about both hygienic as well as aseptic system. And if your company or department yourself, you are looking for upgrading your facility with something which can help you not only to save the product but also to get a step closer on your sustainability goals, then you are more than welcome to connect with us and we can find out the solution for your hygienic product with either type A or type B for flavors and fragrances, or if it is aseptic product where you can save a lot in fact, because aseptic products, long life products, neutral pH, ambient, ultra clean products, those type of products, they have more value in terms of euro per kg, dollars per kg, rupees, yen per kg. So there you can even get more benefit by using this system. So, and thank you for answering here and attending, uh, which will help you to decide on that.
Thank
And
you,
here is the
Pranav.
second question that we asked. Yeah.
Yes, please
Okay. So
continue.
Natasha, thank you for the second question on the screen. Here, most of them actually are looking for all the advantages that we have listed here. And that is also a very good point, because all those advantages, in fact, are coming together as a one full package when you install the picking and scraping system. And I know that I have repeated myself, but it is important to be aware that the benefits on the aseptic lines, in fact, and the high value products are far more superior compared to the hygienic picking system. So you are welcome to reach out to us and get more information on your product lines.
Thank you very much, Pranav, for that extra information, and that's brilliant. So now, everybody, it's time for our Q&A, so please get your questions in. And that said, we actually do have our first question. Pranav, this person asks, can we rent the system itself?
Yeah, that is a very interesting question. So there can be many ways of installing a system, and in fact this is one of the novel ideas. Why not to rent it, try it at your facility, and if it works you keep it and make the payment, keep it, and then we make a sale. If it doesn't work as per it should, then we take it back and you just pay the rent. So it is one of the possibilities, I must say.
Brilliant, thank you. And actually, we have another question regarding your system. Is the system applicable for ultra clean applications, Pranav?
Yes, so I understand what the user wants to do here. So between hygienic and aseptic, there is a zone which in many dairies, many food companies, they call the zone as ultra clean zone. It is not full-fledged aseptic, but the product they come out are going through this ultra clean. It is difficult to define what ultra clean is, but it falls in a zone between hygienic and aseptic. So if you have any production line, as I can foresee you might be having, then the aseptic pigging system suits your needs better. So yes, the aseptic pigging scraping system should be used for ultra clean applications.
Thank you very much. And next up, our next question, this person asks, how does the pig get cleaned?
Yeah. So when the pig is launched and it sits in the receiving station, then we do the CIP in case of hygienic system, and in case of aseptic system we do CIP and SIP, so cleaning in place and sterilization in place when the pig is still sitting in the receiving dock or the receiving station. So the scraper gets cleaned along with the CIP cycle. You don't have to do any special CIP or special cleaning. It is in line along with the line, and then you send it back with the help of compressed air.
Ah, okay. Thank you. That's very interesting. I'm sure that will have interested our viewers today. Next up, how does the pig return to the launching station? Can you just talk us through that process, please?
Yes. In our case specifically, what we have done is that we are pushing the scraper back into its launching station with the help of compressed air and not with the water. By doing this, you can imagine the compressed air is pushing the scraper, the water in front of the scraper is getting drained by the draining valve, and then what you get is the full empty line for your next production. So it what we do is we use with the compressed air, and compressed air is supplied from the facility, from the customer, the compressor.
Brilliant. Thank you for that. Great questions so far, everyone. Please keep sending those through to Pranav. Our next question, oh, this one focuses actually following on from that. How is the pig launched? Is it sterile air, nitrogen? How does that work?
Yeah, so there are possibilities. We can do it with different fluids. The system primarily is designed to be launched with the water, because when we pump the water, we are more in control of the flow and the speed of the pig when we are pushing the product. So we don't want any splashes or purges in the packing hopper. So primarily it is designed to be launched with the help of water. You pump the water and push the scraper or the pig. But it is possible also to use a different type of fluid if your system demands so. So uh, definitely we can look into it and can use some inert gas like nitrogen or something else.
Okay, thank you. Our next question, this person is asking about cleaning. They ask specifically, when using the pigging system, what additional cleaning would be needed, if any? For example, CIP, water flush.
Okay, so we do not need any special or additional CIP. In fact, by using this system, you will be able to reduce the CIP time and the CIP fluids, CIP chemicals that you use. The scraper or the pig is getting clean while sitting in the receiving station with the normal CIP that you do with the caustic acid. So hot water, caustic, hot water, acid, and then it gets cleaned. So you don't need anything additional, no additional time, no additional chemicals to clean the scraper.
Okay, that's really interesting. Thank you. And also, next up, please, Pranav. Next question. So, with the aseptic pigging system, do we have any data on how much reduction in time an end user can expect with going with this type of system versus using a traditional CIP and/or a water push or flush system?
Yes, so this question is a valid question before you make any decision for uh, installing such a system. So I would say in the last slide where we were showing a typical calculation, it was shown with 15 minutes of the reduction of whatever we are doing now, and that is a typical calculation. But a lot depends on the type of product, the line size in terms of length, um, the factors like how many changeovers you are doing, how many bends in the line. So it depends on various factors, but normally we can see there will be significant reduction in the CIP time overall, because you don't have lots of stuff to clean once the scraper has done the scraping. The scraper in fact is made in such a way that it has two rings or two lips. So when the scraper is moving within the pipe, it is scraping off lots of almost all total solids. So what you are left is very very thin non-visible film which you need to clean, versus earlier when you were flushing with the water without the scraper. So it will significantly reduce the CIP time, and we can give you more information once we know your exact requirement, and we can calculate, we can simulate how much it will be saving in terms of time and come back to you in that case.
Thank you. Thank you for that in-depth answer. I hope that's answered that
Mm.
question. I'm sure it did. Our next question is regarding the sterile air. So, Pranav, where is the sterile air to return to the pig coming from? I think that means.
Okay. So sterile air doesn't return. We use it and then it gets purged off. So the sterile, the normal compressor that you have in your plant, that air is sufficient for this system, but we need to pass it through certain filters. So microbial filters, and then it uses it is used to send the scraper back, and after sending back it is purged out of the system.
Perfect. Thank you. And also, next up, Amin, thank you. Do you have a video, Pranav, to kind of help with understanding the system and the process in an easy way?
Oh yes, the animation that we just showed you, it is available on, if you have missed that, in this webinar, today's webinar is recorded and it is available on demand, so you can revisit on the webinar itself, but it is also available on our YouTube, on our website. So it is available at many places. You can just Google search it and you will be able to find that animation which shows how the system basically works, what it consists of, what are the critical steps, and it is an animation which is, we can also call it as a video. So it is there in our internet.
Brilliant, thank you. And I will use the opportunity again, as you mentioned about the video there and the different ways that everyone can access it. Just keep getting your questions in, everyone. We've got our next question from Colin. Thank you, Colin. Pranav, what is the life of this scraper? What number of uses does it have, or number of feet pigged?
Yes, so this is a question which we get often, and the answer for this is not so straightforward because it depends a lot on uh, which product it is being used. If it is low viscosity product, if we are picking something like milk or cream, it can last longer compared to if we are doing for stirred yogurt, for example, a number of cycles that we are using it. So I can give you some indication, but it depends a lot on how it is being used and how long the length of the pipe is and the bends, etc. But we have normally seen the scraper or the pig, they go on for anywhere from 4 months to 6 months, and after that you can change it. But what we recommend is that when you put this system new, it's a good idea to make a routine to check frequently until you gain that experience on your product, and then you will be able to know that okay, for on our conditions, on our line, our product, it goes for 6 months or 7 months. Sometimes it can go 4 to 5 months, but that is a range we have from different references.
Brilliant. Thank you. I hope that answered your question there, Colin. Do keep them coming in. Covering a lot of ground here. That's great. Our next question, Pranav, comes in from Jeff. Thank you, Jeff. What will happen if you do not change the bends?
Yeah, if the bends are not minimum 3 times the radius of the pipe, if it is not a broad band, then what will happen is there are chances and high chances that the scraper will not be able to move through. It will get stuck in the bend, and then it will be a difficult task to remove it out, and it will be uh, almost you have to cut off the pipe to remove the scraper. So as you can imagine, scraper is made up of a material like silicon, EPDM, and then it needs enough space to navigate through those bends. That is why we recommend to keep in mind about these bends, which is an important aspect of installing this system.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for that, Pranav. So many interesting questions and responses there. I'm sure that's given everyone a lot of food for thought. And with that, everyone, that's actually all we have time for today. If we weren't able to answer your question, we'll aim to follow up with you directly after today's webinar. This webinar will also be on demand for the next 3 months, and you can revisit with the same access as you did today. An exit survey will pop up after the webinar, and we'd really appreciate it if you could take a few moments to give us your feedback on this event. A big thank you to SPX Flow and Pranav for that comprehensive look at your pigging technology, APV Aseptic Rapid Recovery System. And thank you, everyone, for taking the time to tune in to today's webinar. We hope you found some valuable information for your business, and as I said, food for thought on how to develop your future product offerings. Goodbye.